I'm Jeff Wilson. I own Macata Stone and Tile Design in Vero Beach, Florida. It's a business that focuses on doing countertop work and a little bit of stone work, a little bit of tile work as well. So I have a 4-year education that was a liberal arts education. I then went into Duke Business School, got an MBA from Duke. And I worked for a couple of businesses, but one I worked for the majority of my career, which was Mars Incorporated. And I worked for Mars based out of the US, but worked throughout the world, doing mostly towards the latter half of my work. Most of it was in purchasing and strategic purchasing, including developing the business in Russia, working on developing the business in Russia, working on strategic sourcing. And then when I finished with Mars, I've had a lot of lives that I've done. I took time and went sailing for a while. And that was kind of an early retirement of my own choice. I got involved with a small business, which was Macata Stone and Tile Design. I got involved with this by buying the assets back in 2009 of a business that was about to go under because of the economy. And it was not necessarily the smartest business decision I ever made, because it was during the time which has been very difficult from a construction standpoint. But I bought the assets on pennies on the dollar, so I was able to get involved in something that I had somewhat of an interest in, mainly to get some experience in small business. I knew large business, and then I got involved with small business, and it's been a learning experience. The classic difference between small business and big business is, I think the scale is obvious. People understand the scale. If you've had a good experience in large business, which I had a pretty diverse and I guess a high level exposure in large business, all of the concepts exist in small business. There's nothing new, there's nothing different. Strategy is as important in a small business as it is in big business. Marketing, understanding what you are, who you are, is important in a small business as it is in a big business. It's all a matter of scale. The surprises I had, I think, were individuals in terms of how much things like insurance are important to you, how much of a chunk that can take, cash flow, managing your cash flow. And of course, as a small business, it's very difficult to get day-to-day cash flow loans, so you're on your own to do that. Those, I think, the things are the fundamental pieces that were a little new and kind of eye-opening to me. The economy has been difficult, as most people understand, over the last couple of years. My approach has been, as a lot of people, to find a way to survive through that time frame. So it always comes down to understanding what your market is, who you're selling to, and making sure that your business is designed to do that. And then the survival bit is watching your cash flow, investing in the things you need to invest in, not going overboard, but also not scrimping where you need to get the right employees, to get the right tools, to get the right materials, and to make sure that you can tell people who you are and what you do. So strategically, I took a look at my business and said, because of what we do, partly because of what the business had done in the past and what kind of drew me to it, is that it was based mostly on quality, partly on service. So I said the segment I wanted to go after was quality, service, and no hassle to my clients. So most of my business could come from contractors, builders, contractors, general contractors, cabinet guys, people like that. So I focused very highly on making sure that when I would get a contractor, they got a fair price, what I call value for money. They also got the best quality they could get anywhere. They got outstanding service, so that we were always there and did what we said we were going to do when we were going to do it. And finally, no hassle. So we provide no hassle. If they make a mistake and they don't give us enough lead time, we don't complain to them. We do what they need. And so they'll come back to us. It creates a loyalty. The other segment of my business is retail, which is dealing directly with the general populace. And it's a smaller part of our business, mainly because I think people are more uncomfortable with dealing with some of the smaller pieces. So most people will go through a contractor, a kitchen and bath center, a cabinet dealer, people like that. But it's the same thing. It's about developing, in my business, it's about developing relationships, about connecting with people, about building their trust, and the same key issues, which are you deliver them quality, you deliver what you say you're going to do service-wise, you never provide them a hassle. Not everything is going to go the way they want it to do, but you make it painless for them. And then you give them good value for money. Not the lowest price, but good value for money.